What is up, Finesse family? Hopefully, everybody is having a great day, guys. Once again, guys, bonjour, hola, good day to you. I'm Mrs. B Finesse of millennialfinessemindset.com. And here I teach and educate on how to have a mindful mindset, which is just you being aware of others around you, and a finesse mindset. And finesse stands for faithfully innovating, inspiring, being naturally effective, and seeking success every day. Here, guys, we're called the Finesse family. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to touch base on a topic called Legacy Matters. I want to delve into this topic, guys. Make sure if you have not hit the poll question, go ahead and answer that. I want to know how you guys feel about legacy, if legacy matters to you, or is it more of an essence of legacy in the sense of me being compensated, and the whole ideal of the matter of legacy, super, super important. So I definitely want to talk about that today. Once again, guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure if you guys did not catch the video yesterday, really, really good. We talked about health matters. And yesterday we were talking about the different ideals of health. There were multiple people in society that had passed away in the last week. And the reason was for cancer. So we talked about cancer and we talked about health screenings. We talked about what we need to do as far as the demographic. I had a lot of data and statistics, and I broke down the rate of the top two things with Black and white, men and women, was heart disease and cancer. So if you have not done your screenings, you guys need to make sure you do that. It's super, super important. You cannot have your legacy without health, right? So we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Guys, thank you too for those that have joined the membership here through the channel on YouTube, guys. On that, you'll get member only messages that I'll send you guys, updates, things of that nature. And so make sure, once again, if you'd like to join the channel, go ahead and do that and you'll get access to those things. Once again, guys, thank you also to the people that super chatted yesterday, sent apps. Thank you for that. I think I didn't call Saquana out. Thank you for that. I seen that. And Nita, I didn't see those. So thank you guys for that, right? So once again, guys, let's get straight into this. Legacy matters, does it? Let's look at the poll and see what some of you had said so far. Poll question I asked was, do you care if someone profits off your legacy, right? And it looks like 40% of you said yes, 20% said no, and the other 40% says, does not matter if I make money too. And that's understandable, but we're going to kind of break that down because I want to know how far or extreme someone's wealth or legacy matters to the point where we're profit. Another concept that came into my mind with this topic too was, if you haven't seen it, the movie, I think it's called The House of Gucci. And I had no clue about the whole background of that family, but that story supposedly mirrors what really happened with the family. And it's so interesting. And it makes you embark on the ideas of legacy mattering and why legacy is important. So we're going to talk about this new collection that is going on with POLO Ralph Lauren. And it is a collection for a legacy of 2 HBCUs. So if you don't know what that is, we're going to definitely get into that. So let's get started, guys. All right. I'm checking now, double checking. We got the audio on, thank goodness. So those of you, if you caught the replay yesterday, you weren't there live, then my editing skills work really well, so you didn't see that, but it is what it is. We're humans. So I was doing my talk yesterday, guys, and for some reason the audio hadn't clicked back on from the intro, so it's all good. So once again, guys, I'm Mrs. B Finesse of Millennial Finesse Mindset, and we're just going to get straight into this topic today. Make sure that you guys answer that poll question for me if you have not yet. Hit the like button on the way in. If you have not turned on the notification bell, guys, make sure you turn that on. That really helps, especially with this the fullness of YouTube, the bombardment of so many channels, and there's so much content on here. If you don't turn that bell on, you don't know when there are time changes to different lives. You don't know if there's pop-up lives. You don't know what's going on in the community tab. So it is imperative and important that you turn that on right now. Turn it on, the notification bell, so you can know when we're going live and about the different topics. So once again, this topic was brought to me, and I thought it was very interesting because of the whole ideal of legacy. As I told you before, I had previously watched The House of Gucci, that movie, and the whole concept of families, the legacy of a name, a label, what goes into it, the background greed, the ideals of wanting more in somebody else, part of that legacy, feeling like things are enough. I thought it was super interesting. So let's get into the topic here. Let me bring up the article so you guys can see it. Here we go. Let me get that up so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So the topic says, all right. It says a new collection from Ralph Lauren salutes the stylish legacy of two HBCUs. All right. So if you don't know what HBCU is, it is historically Black colleges and universities. So I know here in the United States, there's a good amount of them here. I'm not sure if they have them in other countries. Peer Pondering is actually a good movie. She says, good morning. She says, you're at the top of my to join list once I get things more lined out. Oh, thank you. That's awesome that you would even think that I was on the top of your list. That's important. And I appreciate that, Pure Pondering. So if you don't know, I know I'm not sure in other countries if they have these historically Black colleges, but here in the United States, a historically Black college was those colleges that were founded because back when there was segregation and things of that nature, the Black students could not go to white colleges, obviously because of segregation. So they started these historically Black colleges. All right. So the concept of this is pretty interesting. I know myself personally, as far as historically Black colleges, if you've never been or seen like a battle of the bands for the halftime show, or you've never been to a historically Black college, the whole essence and imagery of even walking on the campus is very much so different than a regular public college. And you see that a lot, especially if you visited a lot of colleges, been to a lot of colleges. That whole aspect is different. So there's a style dynamic. And those of you that have either went to a historically Black colleges, or you've lived near one, or you visited them for, let's say, football games or things of that nature, you know that the style of that community of people is very much so things that trend, right? I know that personally because I've actually been to one and worked for a historically Black college. So I know that whole dynamic. I know that when people go to class, they are not just wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. They are fully dressed from head to toe. So here's the ambiance. And the big thing about this topic is it is a new collection from Ralph Lauren. So we know Ralph Lauren, Polo, that brand, is very much iconic So the concept of mixing the legacy of historically Black colleges and Black people in America with that concept of old money, old wealth with POLO Ralph Lauren, you guys know there is so many ideals and sides to this. So we're going to touch base on what people are thinking positive, good about this. We're going to touch base on those that see the opposite end. Maybe this is negative. Maybe this is some form of usury and things of that nature. And then we're going to bring it together like we always do. Mindful mindset. I think this topic is important because as we talk about legacy and as we talk about how we want to be represented, I think it's imperative that you're looking at how you're represented and you're looking at what things will I do and what are the limits to what I would do to be seen, to make money, to get followers, things of that nature. Mindful mindset. Also finesse mindset. Am I being faithfully innovating and inspiring? Am I being myself, naturally effective, seeking success? If I'm doing that, then I know I'm moving forward, right? So let's get into this. Make sure you guys, if you haven't hit that button on the way in. Also, too, guys, do me a favor. This is a goal. Before the end of the week, make sure you guys go back through 3 to 5 videos and comment on them. If you have not seen the videos, watch them and then comment because number one, I love the comments. They're awesome to read and awesome to see the authenticity of the Finesse family and my subscribers. And number two, it helps those that come in to look at the videos from YouTube search or suggestions. And it helps them understand, oh, if they liked it or if this is interesting, it'll make me want to watch it. So do that for your girl. Make sure you go back and do that. It is free. It costs nothing, just a little bit of time, and I would appreciate that. All right. So new collection from Ralph Lauren salutes the stylish legacy of the 2 HBCUs. So the HBCUs that, if you don't know, that POLO Ralph Lauren is using is Spelman College in Atlanta and Morehouse. So my first ideal of this, guys, when I seen it, I thought it was so interesting. One, with me, I love style and fashion, number one. But number two, I like this. I think this is like the 20s, maybe to the 50s. I like that classic look. I like that, just a kind of stylish luxury look, but it's not over the top. I love all that. I really do. So when I first seen it, it was interesting. Especially when you're thinking about a demographic of people that spend roughly $1 billion on clothes and fashion too. Okay, that's a no-brainer. Historically, American Black people like to spend money on clothes. They like to look good. So, I mean, that connection, a no-brainer. And we know even going back, Polo has been a big staple in the urban community here, hip-hop community, and Black and white communities. Polo is very, very big. So, I mean, it was a no-brainer as far as the connection. I love these pictures. These are actually students that go to Spelman is a woman's college and Morehouse is a man's college, if you did not know. All men, all women colleges in Atlanta. And so let's tap into it before we get the opposite side or another op-ed where somebody was talking about the negatives to it. Because I want you guys to see the whole dynamic and then we can make a functional decision of if you agree or disagree. But you got to hear both sides, all right? You guys know how I am here. I'm for you seeing the whole parameter of everything, and then we make our decisions from that, right? It says 2 summers ago, when companies across the country were urged to re-examine their approaches to race representation and inclusivity at every level, Ralph Lauren made a series of comments. Now, you guys remember going back to the Floyd times and everything, the BLM and all that drama, there's a lot of companies that were saying, listen, we're for you. We're going to, they posted on their Twitters and their Instagram, anything we can do to be inclusive, to make changes. And really a lot of them were just doing that for show, just to look like they were part of growth. But really and truly, you didn't see any diversity in their companies. You didn't see any diversity in their campaigns. So Ralph Lauren, I guess he stood out and said, I'm gonna make a difference. Basically, it's saying, he said one particular action step that made philosophical underpinnings. He says, we will examine how we portray the American dream in the stories we tell, the creators we champion, the faces we elevate, the families we hero, and the media partners we support, wrote Ralph Lauren and Patrice Lovert, the president and CEO of Ralph Lauren Corporation. In an open letter to the staff. All right. This was in 2020. Right. So I do like that they're making a concerted effort. Instead of talking it, they're walking it. Right. So basically, It says, in keeping these ideals, last year, Ralph Lauren Corporation made a $2 million pledge to support scholarships for students at 12 historically Black colleges and universities across the country. That's good. I mean, he didn't have to do that. But what say you on that? And then it says, and now in an unprecedented creative collection, here's some of the men's collection right here. For students, the brand presents that POLO Ralph Lauren exclusively for Morehouse and Spelman College collection. He has produced, and it arrives in stores and later on online this month. All right. So this is only for Spelman and Morehouse, historically Black colleges. So if you don't know, do a quick Google search. There are a lot of historically Black colleges. Most of them are in the South, obviously, because it was more harder in the South for Black people to go to college. So there is a plethora of them in the South, especially Bible Belt states. One thing I can see might be a problem with this is that there are, like I said, there's many historically Black colleges, some of them way bigger than Morehouse and Spelman. What about them? How are they? I mean, think about it. You might like that shirt, but you might go to, I don't know, you might go to Tuskegee or you might go to Texas A&M. You got an M on your shirt. You can't wear a Morehouse shirt, especially if that's like your arch nemesis. So that's kind of one of the things I could see would be an issue. Another thing would be, like I said, the exclusivity of it. As far as they said, it's going to be online and arrive in stores. But yet, still, since we're such a consumer-based group of people, I can see a lot of people saying, well, is this just kind of a consumerism thing? Are you really supporting these colleges? Or are you supporting the ideal of the function of the money that this group of people spends on fashion and clothing? All right. Once again, guys, I'm giving you every aspect of this before we kind of break it down. Then if you guys want to, add your side to it, or you want to come up towards the end, then I will make it applicable for you guys to talk about this, because this is super interesting, guys. We're talking about a classic brand like Ralph Lauren Polo, and he's connecting and trying to integrate from the times of 2 years ago with, the Floyd movement and all the hysteria that was going on in the United States. He's trying to make the connection and actually do something with what he said, which is super interesting when you think about it, right? So it says, comprising suitwear, knitwear, outerwear, dresses, footwear, and accessories. The capsule filters Ralph Lauren's long association with campus-inspired apparel or Ivy style through a refreshing of new lens. All right. Let's see. It says the collection is going to express spirited history and a deep sense of community and the legacy of timeless dressing at historically Black colleges and universities. And if you guys didn't know, it goes super deep in historically Black colleges. It goes very, very deep with the style, the essence, the ambiance. I have some pictures I want to show you guys, just so you can see like what they look like back then, and you know how kind of elegant they really were. It says it's so much more than a portrayal of collegiate design. It's sharing a complete and authentic portrait of the American style and of the American dream, ensuring stories of Black life and experiences are embedded in the inspiration and aspiration of our brand, right? And if you didn't know, guys, Martin Luther King, he went to Morehouse, and Spike Lee. And then they said Alice Walker and Tracy Abrams, they went to Spelman. So as I tell you guys all the time, Black history is American history. So the fact that we kind of separated if it wasn't for them and the work that they did on the plantations and all that, even at the White House, that wouldn't even be here not for the Black Americans that were here doing all that labor and work. So I just equated to it is American history. So it definitely should be talked about more, regardless of how people feel about it. It is what it is. Let's see what you guys are saying. Guys, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Let's see. Hey Saquana, and thank you for that support yesterday. I seen that. I wasn't looking at my Cash App. Thank you for that. I appreciated that. Let's see. Gail at night, she's saying, good afternoon, Mrs. B, Finesse, and Chad. Hey, Gail, hopefully you're having a great day. You too, Saquana. Hey, Wally saying, passing by. Let's see. And Mills, good day. Hopefully you're having a great day. She says, good afternoon, everyone. Once again, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe, support any way you feel. Wally's saying hello to the rest of the Finesse fam. Hey, Wally, hopefully you're having a great day. Pure Pondering says that brown suit actually looks a bit 1930s and 40s to me. Yeah. So I'm saying the 20s into the 50s. Me personally, I love that era and that style of clothing. I don't know who's gonna wear these knickerbockers, but you know, some people will. But I love the suits. I love that classic look. That's me personally, right? It says imagery from the 20s and the 50s informed the silhouettes, all rooted in Ralph Lauren's classic tailoring. Also, it says, there's a women's line too, like I told you guys. So it says the white patchwork eyelet silk wrap dresses nod Spelman's annual white dress ceremony, while a wool flannel blazer riffs off one of Morehouse's men's traditionally get as freshmen. Since historically Black colleges and universities have uniquely been centers of both intellectual discourse and cultural influence for more than 150 years. And even to this day, guys, people still don't know that there were historically Black colleges because they're not talked about. And unless you come from that legacy, you went to one and or you know somebody, you have no clue that they even existed at all. All right, so here's some pictures. I love looking at old pictures. So just so you guys know, here's some pictures right here. It says on the left, Morehouse alumnus, Martin Luther King Jr. Can you guys spot him? Let me, I don't want, okay. Can you guys spot Martin Luther King Jr. in the picture? Where is he at? On the left. Can anybody tell me? I'm going to tell you where he's at in the picture because I spotted him instantly. And I was like, is that him? Then I read the caption. So in this picture, somebody tell me where Martin Luther King is. First row, second row. And then over here, guys, this is so neat. I believe this is a basketball team right here. Yep. Look at that. And a lot of times people don't even realize there were basketball teams, there were football teams, baseball teams. I believe even was that Jackie Robinson. He would there's the black the Negro leagues and all these teams, they were so good, guys, that that's why they came and kind of elicited some of the Black people off their Negro teams, because they were so good that they knew if they just got one or two on their regular, like what are they called, the NBA, the baseball league, and all these other leagues, they slowly start picking, you know, the best Black people on these teams, which most of them were all excellent, but they knew as far as integration, they couldn't bring a lot of them. So they had to bring one or two. And then if you go back, even in sports history, you can see the Black people, the couple that they, you know, cherry picked and brought in, they were so good compared to the other athletes. It was just a no-brainer. Let's bring more of them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't care about segregation. It was money. And so that's why I kind of wanted to have this story when we talk about legacy matters. I wanted to connect that with the influence of affluence, the influence of making a profit, of making money. Let's look at the poll and see, oh, it's changed. All right. So my poll, I said, do you care if someone profits off of your legacy? And 62% of you say yes. The no's went down. 12% say no, and then 25% say doesn't matter if I make money too. So I mean, it looks like if you guys are making money, it's not really floating your boat. You don't really care. All right. So let's see. Where was I at? Adrian saying hello all. Let's see. Hey Adrian, hopefully you're having a great day. Luke Hazley says we need to get back to dressing like we care. People treat you as they see you. Yes, it's so true, Luke Hazley. And like I said, I don't know, just me personally, I've always loved this classic look. I always have. I don't know, just that I've always kind of liked that Ivy League look too, like kind of that preppy casual or whatever. And I love seeing old pictures like this. I literally love seeing old pictures like this. All right, so let's see. Hello all, by the way. Hey, Lucas, hopefully you're having a great day. Adrian Nash, we already know her for legacy. Okay, Luke Hazley is she is one with the guests. I don't know if some of you are just shy or some of you just don't know. But yes, Luke Hazley, I believe that is him. Let me scroll up on it again. Right here. Third one in. 1, 2, 3. That's him. Look at that. Young Martin Luther King, sitting at college, learning. So interesting. Okay, let's get into this. Adrian saying, I don't understand the question in the poll. Well, basically, Adrian, what I'm asking you is reference to legacy, and the story we're talking about. I'm connecting it because basically, POLO Ralph Lauren, Adrian, is collaborating with two Black colleges, and I know you know, Adrian, because you was in Atlanta, Morehouse and Spelman College, to make a collection for the colleges for everybody to buy. And this is the first of its kind, collaborating with a huge designer with two historically Black colleges. So I'm asking you guys, because I'm going to show both sides of this, because I have another article where somebody was basically saying he doesn't believe in this and he believes this is some form of usury, but he's hoping it will help the Black colleges and help, the legacy of the name of historically Black colleges. So I'm asking you guys, do you care if somebody profits off of your legacy? Yes or no, or it doesn't matter if I make money. And that's the leading question for the conversation. Hopefully that makes sense to you now, Adrian. Let me know if it doesn't. I love the blouses and the skirts in that pic. Yeah, I do too. I really, really do. Please click the like button. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Yes, thank you. And thank you, Gail. You're always so super busy, and I really appreciate that you take time to pop by and help out. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Mr. or Mrs. Ant. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's get into the topic. Let's see. So I want to show you guys the actual commercial for it before we kind of break this down. And that's what I want you guys focusing on as far as the topic when we have this conversation. Focus on the question of, is this something that you feel like it's just a kind of a profiteering thing? They're just trying to make money. Or do you think this is something that's going to help the legacy of historically Black colleges, ergo help the legacy of Black people as a whole being positive and being out in society making a difference? That's the whole focus of this conversation. And we really need to have that legacy talk too. It's super, super important, guys. Hey, Vaughn, he says, greetings, love, and peace. Let's see. Pure Pondering is saying, those sets almost remind me of the suit my grandmother had when she was 18, mid 1930s. Yeah, just a classic look. Nobody's really competing with anybody as far as it is nowadays. Everybody's pretty much covered. They don't have everything out. I'm more power to you if you want to have everything out. But I mean, you understand the way you dress will attract a certain type of people. And if you don't care about the people you attract, knock yourself out, right? I'm not knocking that, because and also too, guys, we were all teenagers too. We all tried to, break the grain and go as you. So yes, everybody went through this age where they were the clothes, mothers and fathers and people did not think we should wear, right? But we stage out of that, right? And we grow up. So it is what it is, right? So here is, hopefully this thing plays right, guys. Let me know. Here's the other op-ed on this. So I thought this was interesting because this is going to show both sides. Remember? And also even to Spelman College. Let me see. This is what Spelman College. Okay, remember I told you guys there's two colleges. There's two Black colleges that Polo is representing. He's representing the male college, which is Morehouse, and that's the male school, and the female college, which is Spelman, and these are historically Black colleges. So even on their website, look at this. And obviously, guys, they're going to prop this up because this is more accolades for the school, and it's just something that, is seen in a good light. So it says Ralph Lauren introduces collection that builds upon its historic partnership with Morehouse and Spelman, right? So let's see. It says they expanded their partnership with Morehouse and Spelman, unveiling a limited edition collection inspired by the school's rich heritage and esteemed traditions. It says the collection seeks to honor the history of both schools and widen the aperture of Ralph Lauren's storytelling, including the nature of life at historically Black colleges and universities, a story untold in depictions of Ralph Lauren's collegiate sensibility until today. So the fact that he recognizes that, like I said, I'm hoping it's not a bait and switch, but I think it's a good thing, guys. You always got to look for the positive things moving forward. You can't always just nitpick everything. But yeah, and still I'm gonna leave that up to the finesse family because I haven't gave you guys everything. I'm gonna show you the other side. That somebody wrote an opinion article about what they felt about this, right? They said the collection expresses this. Oh, we already talked about that. Let's see, conceptualization and design by Morehouse alum James Jeter. So I don't know if I said that, guys, but another thing that makes it so special is the guy. He's a concept design and he's a special projects director at Ralph Lauren. He's a black man and he actually went to Morehouse. So he is a person that conceptualized this and designed it and pushed it for it to be something that was done. So that's pretty neat because, you know, an alumnus actually got a say and he pushed his and repped his area, his school. It says, in collaboration with Spelman graduate Dora Douglas, director of inspirational content for Ralph Lauren, the collection marks the first time the brand has partnered with an institute of higher learning. I don't know. I always thought, I felt like Polo was at like an Ivy League school, but I guess it just stood for Ivy League. So it never has connected with a school at all. This is the first time it's ever connected with an institute of higher learning, aka a college or university. So that's neat. So actually a woman from Spelman and a man from Morehouse, which are historically black colleges, helped spearhead this, right? And it says the collection also marks the first time the brand has produced a campaign with an all-black cast, including its photographers, creative directors, cinematographers, and talent, predominantly comprising students, faculty, and alumni at both institutions. The campaign was shot by internationally acclaimed fashion photographer Nadine Ajue. Now, I probably said her name wrong, but once again, international acclaimed person. Obviously, we talking Ralph Lauren money, so you know they're not gonna slip and slide on any of that. Okay. Adrian says the HBCU life was not for me. I took my posterior back to Cali and graduated from HWC. Yeah, I mean, I think that whole experience is totally different, and it's important, especially once again, like I said, if you grew up in an area around you haven't been around a lot of black people and things of that nature. I know nowadays historically black colleges, it's not just for black people. There are people coming from everywhere. A lot of historically black colleges have great programs. Like I know mine had like a nursing program. We had people from everywhere, white people, people from Africa, Asia, like everybody. So it's not just black people that go to these colleges now. Many people want to go to these colleges to get the experience of the African Americans experience, the history of African American people that they learned, and all in all, that whole culture is great. For me, being somebody that went to one, I loved it because, like I said, it was just something where I just wasn't around a big group and collection of black people, except my family growing up. So seeing the different black people from everywhere, from overseas, Africa, Asia. I mean, they're everywhere. Australia, you wouldn't even know. They're everywhere. So it was awesome to me. And the experience, I would never change that. It was an awesome experience. And me, like I said, I grew up mostly around Caucasian people, white people. Like I said, the people that I went to school with and grew up with, most of them that went to my school were my cousins, right? So it was a great experience for me. I loved it. It made me see different levels of black people that I would never experience in one place from all around the world. That's what I loved about it. They're all around the world people, and even other cultures, but specifically black people. Let's see. Lucchese says, skeptical by nature me, I think these big designer houses are always looking for an opportunity to take advantage of whoever allows them to. Will they be sharing the profit with the schools? See, Lucchese, you must be getting vibes from the article I'm about to go to, because this next article spells it out for the naysayers. This spells it out for those that, you know, you're happy about this, but like Lucchese said, listen, is this something else? This is another vibe from this. And so I'm going to get into the other article because this was so intriguing to me. I read probably about 4 or 5 articles in all. And I picked the most kind of ones that kind of polarize this whole concept so we can have this legacy talk, because once again, guys, this is important. This is super important. And it's important to know what will people do to have a name? What do you do to be seen? Does your legacy matter? Does what your family represents matters? Does your reputation matter? It's super important. So we're gonna get into this because it looks like StreamYard glitching, but you guys can hear me. So if you can't hear me, let me make sure I have the chat so I can see if you guys are telling me anything. Okay, here we go. Once again, if you're just getting here, hit that like button on the way in. We are talking about Legacy Matters. The big topic going on is POLO Ralph Lauren collabing with historically Black colleges. Well, just two, Morehouse and Spelman. And he's doing a whole collection. And it is a big thing now because everybody and their mother is trying to get a hold of this collection, which is going to be released, I believe, in a couple weeks. And my question at hand is this good, bad, or ugly? Is this bueno or no? Like what is you guys' ideals on this? And this is kind of like a conversation to set the groundwork for you guys to have this discussion with your family, in your life, with your coworkers and friends, because is this some sort of maybe exploitation? Okay, so let's get into the article. Here we go. Let me show you guys the article. Here we go. All right, let's see if I can make this. Come on. Stop glitching. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Let's make sure this. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so let me bring this the full screen. Right. Come on, screen. All right, here we go. So it says, if you spent any time on social media in the past 2 days, you undoubtedly saw the launch of the promotional campaign for POLO Ralph Lauren's new exclusive collection inspired by sartorial history and legacy of both Spelman College and Morehouse College, two historically Black colleges in Atlanta. It's a stunning campaign, really. I want to show you guys a video because the video is it's beautiful. I definitely want to show you guys a video. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, so let me know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to play a little bit and I'll watch the chat and make sure you guys can hear it. Here we go.
I have always believed in the American dream. Since I started my company over 50 years ago, I considered our greatest responsibility to understand, be inspired by, and aspire to the dreams of all those who call this country home. When I was approached with the idea of a collection inspired by the heritage and traditions of the timeless of historically Black colleges and universities, it became clear that part of our design sensibility has been missing. This special collaboration, students, the faculty, and alumni of Morehouse and Spelman colleges, two esteemed institutions attended by our own employees, extend the authenticity of our brand heritage, writing untold chapters in our storytelling. Our portrait of American style and our vision of the American dream would be incomplete without Black experiences like these. I'm so honored to be part of it.
The significance of the Black aesthetic at HBCUs from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s has a lot to do with self-determination. One of the main reasons that so many of us choose to attend HBCUs and to educate our children at HBCUs.
One of the things I'd like to say about the significance of Ralph Lauren seeing us and seeing what our institutions produce, recognizing that for hundreds of years, and for certainly decades, there was an identity place that majority items that people didn't realize happened in other places.
All right. So once again, to me, aesthetically, that video was like beautiful. That video, it just also too, I'm wondering what you guys' concept and fair use. Yes. I'm wondering what you really feel about that. Do you feel like that was more hitting the heartstrings of that culture and that emotion that many would feel, especially towards the Black community and or towards the ideal of that, or do you think it was authentic? My question to you guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let me go back in the chat. Let's see. Come on, StreamYard. Sorry guys, it's StreamYard is saying that it's having issues. So we just gonna bear with this and keep it moving. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yes, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let me get that up. There we go. Picture in picture layout. Okay, cool. All right. He's acting real crazy right now, but this is so annoying. I don't know what StreamYard is doing, guys. It just kicked me off the whole stream. So sorry. I'm back. It was glitching and it was just stuck, and no worries. I'm back though. So yeah, if you just seen like that glitch, that was StreamYard. For some reason, it just took me off and I had to come back into the stream. But yes, guys, make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Let's see. Vaughn says, oh yeah, support, like, share, subscribe. Sorry guys, we're gonna try to get through this. I don't know what's going on, but you guys know me. We're gonna keep going. Let's see. Lucchese says, Adrian, yes, California colleges are great. Graduated from CSUS. Adrian says, I believe it is great marketing by Ralph Lauren Company. I'm for it. And that's the thing. Let me read through this ad because it's so interesting. Let me share the screen again. But that campaign was beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. Like the pictures, the legacy of it. It was a beautiful campaign. Very aesthetically pleasing to the eyes. Very much so something that makes you kind of reminisce, want to be there, I guess you say. And it was pretty awesome. It was very, very awesome aesthetically. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so let's read through this article, guys. Let me read through it so you guys can see what this another opinion about this, right? All right, so here we go. It says conceived of and on the helms of James Jeter, which I told you guys, a 2013 graduate. It says the faculty and alumni, students of both schools and models, and the entire rollout of the amazing of this visually amazing scene. And it is beautiful. Like the scene is awesome. The video. All right. It says, according to Vogue magazine, which is the first magazine that I read to you guys, that from the article, it says the campaign was shot by Nadine Ajware. I don't know if you guys know her. She was making it the brand's first where Black folks were used exclusively behind the scenes and in front of the camera. All right. And then it says, of course, a billion-dollar company entering the world of HBCU consumerism will generate conversation and lots of them. It says I spent a significant amount of time on the day the campaign was launched, debating various aspects of the campaign and a larger issue in multiple group text chats. It says folks have thought, and I'm wait a minute. They thought that there were concerns on this. All right, so let's get into the different concerns. And I want to know if you guys agree or disagree with what he's saying, because this is, I mean, me listening to him saying stuff, I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. But I know that there's always going to be an aspect of this that kind of pandering to people's emotions. Pure Pondering says, I went to a Baptist college then in Arkansas State. We had a lot of international ministerial students at that Baptist college. I think I know where you went, Pure Pondering. I think I know what that college is called. Is it called FCC or something like that? I think that's the name of the college. Let's see. Vaughn says, I accidentally hit the wrong poll answer. I meant to hit yes. All right, Vaughn, we'll let that go. Mr. Rucker says you can't share profits if it was a prenup. Shout out to Mr. Rucker. Thank you for being here. Vaughn, it says, oh yeah, if you would like, guys, you can buy Mrs. B Finesse a Venti Caramel Frappe with the Buy Me a Coffee app to support. Thank you. Aisha is in the building. Hey, Aisha, hopefully you and the kids are doing well. You and your family are doing awesome, hopefully. She says, peace and blessings, Mrs. B Finesse. I hope you and the family are doing well. Yep, we are. The only thing acting a mug right now is this cuckoo StreamYard, but I'll digress. We're gonna get through it. All right. Pure Pondering says, Adrian, I wonder if Ralph Lauren might consider making Mrs. H's style popular homestead heart. Let's see, Vaughn's laughing at that. Everybody says they can hear me. Aisha says Black Americans are the culture. Yeah, there's a lot taken from the Black American culture and experience. I mean, everything. I mean, if you look across the world, bar none, many of the things, the way people dress, the way they dance, aspects of all things are taking from the culture. And that's why, you know, there are so many people that have an issue with that. And they call that the cultural appropriation of things, when you use somebody's culture to make a profit off of it, and or you don't give them the accolades or the credit for it. Okay, so this is some of the things that he's saying. And this might go back to kind of what Lucchese was saying, because Lucchese says from the jump, she says, I'm skeptical. You got a big company like Ralph Lauren, and you got, you know, these underprivileged areas. Are they using them for the money, right? So it says, he says, I wish I could say I was excited when I first saw this collection, but I wasn't. Okay, this is a Black person that wrote this article. He says, I wanted to be happy about it, but I had this nagging feeling, as is usually the case for big, it says big white companies. They hop on Black causes and trends. Appropriation and exploitation are usually the order of the day. So I want to know, my Finesse family, do you guys believe that this appropriation and exploitation of historic Black college and this whole concept. It says, now in this case, and well before the launch of this collection, Ralph Lauren committed to donating, I told you guys that, I think about 12 million, right, to HBCUs, but this is between 12 HBCUs, right? He donated 2 million, and 2 million is a good amount of money, but if you guys know any budget, like I can tell you, working at a, let's say public high school, the budget, when I looked at it, was roughly $1 million to $2 million, I believe, and that is a high school. No, the budget was, I think, 3 million. So you got to think about that. For one public high school, 3 million. And he's taken 2 million and split it between 12 colleges, right? It's better than nothing, because some people haven't done that. So, you know, it's still a good thing that you did something. But is it enough? Is the question. And then it says, and other efforts, so well, we'll see what comes of it. So basically, the money was donated to the United Negro College Fund in December 2020. And then the college fund will split between the colleges in that fund. If you don't know or understand what the United Negro College Fund is, that's what it does. And many people don't. Sometimes some of you, this might be the first time you heard of that. And it's okay. Now you know. It says, but this speaks to the larger issue. And this is an op-ed with the person. He wrote this article in the magazine The Griot. He says, it's hard to trust that a big white company is really out to the right to represent the rights and wrongs so much as or exploit an economic opportunity. Do you guys believe this is true? Yes or no, from just what you've heard and seen on this ad campaign? I hate that this was my first thought. So that's good. He right here, guys, he's showing a mindful mindset, because even though this is his first thought, and it's hard to not think that when you're taking a company that has billions of dollars and they take somebody, a smaller demographic, and then they exploit them or use them, you know, for the emotion of it, allegedly, right? So I do appreciate that he is kind of, he's warring himself in this article. He's not just saying, oh, everybody's trying to use white people, racist. No, I'm not saying that. He's actually critically thinking. He's analyzing what he's saying, and he's giving an aspect of proof and dynamic to what he's saying, but he's still questioning himself. And that is excellent. That is how we learn. Guys, that's how you can change somebody that is biased or racist or sexist or anything. That's how you can change their mindset, when you get them to think through why they say what they say, right? So I do want some of you to, once again, just listen to what he's saying. Here we go. Right? He says, I hate that this is my first thought. He says, I hate it more that I'm not wrong to think that this way at all. And once again, only your background and your understandings and your experience would make you either agree or disagree with this, because if you've not walked this walk, you don't know, so you'll disagree. But anybody that has seen this or lived this experience or been around a loved one that has seen this, you know, right? And then it says, he says, let's see what he said. This is such a good think piece for people, everybody, Black, white, every race, everybody, because this is something people do not talk about, and or they don't realize because they don't walk the walk or they've never experienced it. He says, I hate that this is my first thought. He says, history has shown us that exploitation and appropriation can be used to increase the wealth of white America. It usually is used. He says, I hope I'm wrong in this case. He said, I hope I'm wrong. So I really appreciate that. I love that. He said what he said and he meant what he said, but he actually is introspecting, which means he is deliberating every side of this, because he could be wrong and he's given that space for that. So that's awesome thinking. Very awesome thinking. Luke Hesley says, Von Bryant, I agree. They know that if they use the right words and pretty visuals, most of us fall for it, not buying it. That's okay, Luke Casey. She's pretty much in agreement with what this writer was saying in this op-ed in the Griot magazine. And his name is Panama Jackson. It's his opinion piece over. And just so you just come in, we're analyzing this whole aspect of legacy, and it matters, and how important legacy is, and to what extent will you use legacy to get ahead, right? So he says, I also immediately thought about the Black companies who specialize in HBCU apparel or fancy findables that I doubt would get the same opportunity from Morehouse and Spelman College. Now, for those of you that don't know, it is very hard to go in a store and find products from any HBCU unless it's in that state or city, right? And you're definitely not going to find it in like big collegiate places. So a lot of places that sell this licensed apparel is in historic college cities and towns, because it's there's not a real market to push it everywhere, especially people who don't really know what historically Black colleges are. So the market is at the market area people are. So I do understand them on that, because I mean it's very hard to find what is that called? It's very hard to find your clothes and t-shirts and things of that nature for different historically Black colleges, just because it's not marketed that way, right? So I do understand him on that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Vaughn says, if you're just joining the stream, please hit the like button. Free to hit the like button. Yes, let's hit that on the way in. Let's see what you guys are saying. Luke Hazley says, one positive I see with this is that maybe young ladies will be dressing more elegantly rather than Cardi B. I'm hoping like we bring that old age, that old style back too. I mean, the dresses don't have to come to the floor, but I mean, it's so classy. Like the dress, like even to your knees is such a cute fit. Like it's so classy and so nice. And I mean, I think like you said, Luke, the more we keep showing this, and this is the norm, and this is what parents are doing. I was in an audio group chat with one time, I think it was like on Clubhouse or something. And it was so aggravating to me that the parents allow their kids to dress a certain way at a certain age. It was so annoying. Like one parent was talking about their daughter wears like a crop top shirt, and she feels like it's okay for her to wear it. And I'm like, do you know that there are perverts everywhere? And you, especially even in your house, you have to be cognizant of how the child is dressing. You can't just let them wear what they want to wear. So yeah, I'm in agreement with that, Luke Casey. Okay, come on, StreamYard, please stop this madness, man. Once again, guys, I'm apologizing on the behalf of StreamYard. There, it says that they're it's going in and out. StreamYard's having issues, but we're gonna keep this going. Let's see. Prouding says, I'm loving that my 6-year-old wants to wear loose dresses with leggings most of the time. If a t-shirt's up over her hip, she thinks it's too small. Good, that's awesome. That is so awesome. I mean, and the kids are the reflection is us. Like it doesn't matter what the style is and what everybody's wearing. You're still the parent. You need to let that child know and tell them why. Don't just say don't wear that. Duh. Explain to the child why they shouldn't wear it, so they can have a what is the word? They can have an understanding and good feeling to why I'm not wearing it. So if somebody does try to nitpick them, they can say, why do I want to go around looking like a woman tonight? Why do I want to go around looking like I want somebody to take my body or something? They need to be able to talk for themselves and explain that. So please let your child know, grandchildren know why they shouldn't wear what they wear. Okay. Pure Pondering says, Mrs. B Finesse, actually to Williams Baptist College. Back it's called, so yes, because I had family members that went there. That's why I know that name, Southern Baptist College. Yeah, that was the name. Thank you, Lucchese, for the super sticker. Just because. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Let's see what you guys are saying. Lucchese, Pure Pondering. That is where it starts. I hope she does her own thing rather than going with peer pressure. And listen, parents, nowadays, it's super important that your ideals and your voice is louder. Because I'm gonna tell you now, guys, especially if your kid goes to a public school, even private schools, guys, and charter schools, that whole demographic of how kids push kids to do stuff and how they treat them. Listen, you guys better be just paying attention to your kids and listening to them, because they are going through so much, guys. Your kids are going through a lot in school. All right. So pay attention to them. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Thank God, I feel like I gotta sneeze. All right, so let's get into this. It says, he says, and so once again, we're back in the topics. He's saying the big issue was, these other mom and pop shops, which I can speak on. There is a lot of, they do not sell paraphernalia and clothes for historically Black colleges everywhere. It has to be normally a licensed shop, and most of the time they're a small mom and pop shop. So I can understand how great that would have been if Spelman would have, brought in a whole bunch of other little companies to help bolster this. It says, or who maybe would have been good to partner with from a company like Polo, which would really have an impact. He says, the thing that stands out most to me, honestly, is the amount of archival access Polo got and how they were able to, via Mr. Jeter, use it to inform an entire multimedia campaign, marrying the old with the new. Hey, that's what money does. That's what money will do. Money will be able to get you into the archives and get you all access to everything. That is exactly what money will do. It'll get you in the archives and you'll have access to everything. And he's making good points, guys. I mean, because that video was beautiful. You guys said it. Aesthetically, just the motion of that video, how they laid it together. That video was awesome. That video was awesome. All right. Into the article, what it's saying. He says, at the same time, he says, it is just as simple as asking, does Polo have the kind of cash that smaller Black companies could never have for resource reasons? Does Polo have the resources and the reach to make this whole thing make sense for Morehouse and Spelman in ways others don't? And let me be clear. He says, I do not know if other small Black companies have asked Morehouse or Spelman to open up their archives so they could do a campaign on the campus and inside the building without the faculty, alumni, students. He says, I'm saying, is their ice colder? Interesting what you guys are saying about this. Adrian says HBCUs need those donations. Yeah, they do. I mean, guys, if you look at the history of historically Black now, and for all of them, the sad part is, a lot of people that get in those colleges and get the positions to be presidents and stuff, they always doing sneaky crap and embezzling money. And it's so freaking annoying. It's like you get a power of authority and you're at a historically Black college, which is representing Black people, and you get up there and do stupid stuff like stealing money, embezzling, bringing all your family to take position, doing all kind of atrocious things you shouldn't, and it just smears that college again. And that's really kind of the epidemic that has happened to me, Black historically colleges. You get people that get in positions and they're power hungry and they come in there greedy, wanting to take something from the college instead of giving back to that college and edifying it. And it just sucks that it's like that in many colleges, historically Black colleges. Luke Hazley says, well, I don't know about the appropriation part, as the clothing was also worn by Caucasians and Latinos back then. However, the opportunistic exploitation factor seems to be there. Yes, and yes. And that's what I do like as far as the dichotomy of this person there. He is self-checking and self-regulating himself as he is making these claims and propositions, right? And it's good. I love this because it's showing all sides of it. And many of you are in agreement to this. Many of you have just stated what he's saying. The whole opportunistic ideal of legacy, being able to attain this legacy, being able to tap into these archives of these beautiful pictures. I mean, that picture of Martin Luther King, in his prime, like, wow, that was awesome. And then you're using this as a campaign. It's something to talk about, guys. Thank you, Vaughn. And I'm a little bit behind in that. I wish I would have seen that. Like I said, my screen was freezing. He says, stay tuned. We were having technical difficulties. Our staff and technicians are working to correct the issue. Yes, Vaughn, thank you for that. And continue to put that up because, ay Dios míos. Like some days my streams go awesome. But once again, guys, I'm landing. Everything is awesome as far as my, so it's like StreamYard. I can see it. It gives me like notifications. And I just try to keep smiling and keep going and get it done, guys, because this is important, these conversations. Let's see. Lucchese said, I had the crop top convo with my niece about it, and she stated that boys and men should change their behavior to accommodate her fashion. That response required an immediate sit down with Tia Lucy. Yes, thank you, Tia. Gracias. Yes, it's in. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, just because you talk to them, don't think they won't back, because they will. And you got to realize bucking back, because many parents are trying to be these kids' friends, and many parents are young and they dress like that anyways. And it's sad because you have to be cognizant of not just your child, but the atmosphere around your child and your family. And these people, these predators are so strong, and you got to realize a predator will breed a predator. So a lot of these predators are younger too, because of things that have happened to them. So they're your kids' age and they're your kids' friends. And so you need to be cognizant of these things and stop allowing your child to do what they want. This is ergo why you are the parent and why you have the legal authority till they're 18. Let's put it together, because they can't make the right choices. And we've all been younger. You thought the short skirts and the crop tops and the having your stuff hanging out or a little bit showing, you thought that was like edgy. You know, that's the times. Every decade, every grouping of people has that kind of rebelliousness to it. We all know that. But these times right here, you know, these times are more scarier because of things that can happen to our children. There is human trafficking going on everywhere. Everywhere. Your next door neighbor can be doing it, in the rich neighborhoods, in the upper echelons, in the $1 million neighborhoods, down to the regular homes. So you gotta be careful. So great. That's muy bueno, Tia Lucy, because it's like I hate the fact that the parents don't take this stuff serious. They don't realize that their kids are being they're being shown and introduced to so many things, and it's sad. Let's see. Vaughn says, OG Patrice, it's so refreshing that we can get together in these YouTube streets and just laugh. We all need to let our hair down every once in a while. Oops, I'm bald. Vaughn, you crazy. I hope I didn't skip anybody else's stuff. Let me see. I think I got everybody. Okay, let's get back to this article, because I want to hear you guys' opinion and perspective about this before StreamYard gets me agitated. All right, let's see. He also says, I wonder what the financial benefit is for the school. Obviously, there's a licensing component, right? And then he says, let's see. He says, if you didn't get to the collegiate store near the campus, like I was telling you guys, or the bookstore when the new fire shirt or hoodie dropped, you were short. He said, real talk, getting black college gear before the internet was like copying Nikes on sneakers app. That is true. Like I told you guys, like there was not a big push to sell historically black paraphernalia in stores. So you really have to get it from the store in the area, and or like I said, the bookstore, right? He says at the same time, he says, let's start getting to the good stuff. He said this is a hell of a commercial for Morehouse and Spelman. It's a beautiful commercial. I don't care what anybody says. That commercial is nice and it pulls your heartstrings. He says, I don't know if this helps increase applications or convinces any other students that they need to look at HBCUs for college, but representation matters. This represents the hell out of those schools. He says it's giving period piece. It is. He says the collections aesthetics of the 20s and the 50s. Somebody in one of my group chats, he says, said that it ain't nothing like back when we used to dress right, kind of what you were saying, Lou Paisley. And it says, I wonder if this collection came out of a abacus, the Bible, and a double-sided Martin Luther King white Jesus church fan. I mean, yeah, I mean, to me, like I said, I love like that essence, that essence of that time. I think it's a good genre as far as, you know, the way they were dressed and how they carried themselves, the honor code back then. I mean, the way they carried themselves was awesome. Yes. This here, once again, like I said, we're gonna round it off. I'm going to, if you guys wanted to say anything before I finish off this ad piece, I will definitely here. Otherwise, we'll finish it up because I definitely want to make sure this is a good good visually and aesthetically to the listeners on the restream. Let's see. He says, so yeah, that video was beautifully made. And you know, it tapped at the heartstrings of your emotions. Also, the next thing that this guy was saying as far as his feeling, if you're just getting in, make sure you guys hit over the collection of the Ralph Lauren and Spelman and Morehouse collection that's exclusive. And it says, this person that wrote this article, he says, 10 thoughts, prayers, and concerns about the POLO Ralph Lauren exclusivity for Morehouse and Spelman College collection, right? All right, so let's go into other things that he was saying. Do you guys agree with me so far? I know I've seen Lucchese and a couple of you are in agreement with a lot of things he said. You said it first before I read it in the article. He says, I love the look of the clothes. Yes, most of you have said that. You love the look of the clothes. He says all of them, literally all of them. Yes. He says it's saying come buy me, and he says, and my wallet is saying take my money. Now this is all before I see the price tags of any of it. I mean, it's Polo. He says, you know, stuff is not cheap. He says, let's see what he's saying, and we know that Polo, you know, it's really good. He says, I don't care how much it is that is getting purchased. Right. So he's basically saying, he says, but that Morehouse varsity jacket on the back of a chair in one of those pictures, he says, consider that copped. If you don't know what cop means, it means just I'm buying it. I'm going to take it. Yeah, the clothes are aesthetically beautiful. Let me go on so you guys can see some more pictures of the clothing line. Let's see if I can get this up. Look, okay, so here's some. This is another article. Here's the dresses. Oh, that's so pretty. Here's the women's dresses. Here's the men's suits. And you guys can see that on my thumbnail also. Let's see. Let's see if there's any more pictures on this site. No, I don't think there's any more on that. We'll go back to the Vogue article and see if we can get the pictures up. Oh, that's so pretty. That blue. And right here, look at this. I love that sweater. That's really pretty. I love these little varsity jackets and like Letterman kind of polo jackets, or like if you're in a club. I know when I was in the different literacy clubs and stuff in college, we had like those jackets. Even like when you're online or when you're in a sorority fraternity, we had those jackets too. So yes, that is a staple in academia dealing with universities. That jacket right here, this blue one right here, yes. So, oh my goodness, classically beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see what you guys are saying. I'm trying to find that jacket that he was talking about so you guys can see what he was talking about. Okay, let me get back to what you guys are saying. All right. People is saying too many these days refuse to take responsibility for their own part in the entire dynamic. Yes, men and boys need to behave properly, but young women also need to behave. Yes. I mean, in the whole thing, the way I explain it, especially when I talk to youth and teenagers, is you want to be a reflection of what you expect. A reflection of what you expect. So if you go around with your stomach hanging out and your breast out, even though you got the right to do that, you got to understand that there are other people that have demented mindsets and they are visually out to take what they see. So to keep that away, because some people are just demented if you got clothes on or not, right? But to keep that type of person away from you and keep that environment away, you want as much as you can to just cover yourself as much as you can, because why would you want anybody to see your goodies? They're your goodies. Why would you want anybody to see them? That's what I always would tell the youth and young adults. Like, think about it that way. Don't think about it more so as an adult telling you how to dress and what to wear. Think of it more so as that you are beautiful. You are worth value. You are elegant. You are the most valuable thing there is. So if you know you're that, why would you want to expose any part of you to anybody that's not worth or worthy of your time? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Luke Hazley saying propounding exactly. She says the discussion was about her taking responsibility for her behavior, then a behavior change expectation from others. Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Vaughn says, I love to see ladies and gentlemen dress accordingly. We need to get back to having class about ourselves. Yeah, and even though kind of, I'm a younger I guess you could say person in the scene of it all, but I've always liked the classic look. Like, don't get me wrong, duh. As I was growing up, short skirts and shorts. I mean, duh. That's just it is what it is. Like, I mean, I think everybody goes through that stage of it. But yet and still, I never had like something so short where you could see all the goodies. Like now, they might as well just walk around in their underclothes because the stuff is so short and so curved up in their areas, and the tops are showing everything. And then what's the point of even having anything on? Just walk around in your underclothes. I mean, just do that, because I don't even see the point of you putting on stuff. I just really don't. And it's sad, because it's more so like, why would you want to look like that? Oh, look at these. Look at this. They're so beautiful. So these old pictures, like I said, the lady that was taking the picture, she's a world-renowned photographer. They are reminiscent of these pictures. So like that one at the top, look at their hair. It's so pretty. Just classic. That is this here. Those ladies down there is like a reproduction of this picture. So pretty. Elegant. I mean, less is best. I mean, not less. I'm sorry. More is best. I mean, the more you're covered too, it's like more. And then also too, you're not going to deal with the aspect of these cuckoo bird like predators messing with you, because you're not showing and exposing a lot. Ergo, their minds are not as focused. Now, if you're an extra curvy and busty person, and no matter what you wear, it's going to show. It is what it is, but still, once again, you're valuable. Your body is valuable, men and women. So, and even with the men having everything out, and I still don't understand and showing your underclothes and all that, to each his own. But come on, like, I know, and I did this study with many article with my students. Somewhere on the East Coast, I feel like it's Virginia or something, or Pennsylvania. They put a law out that if you sag, you'll get fined. I think $300 or $200 something. So, the whole ideal of making other people feel uncomfortable is totally what I stand for. Now, I don't want to see all that. And I make my students, they know when they come in my classroom, I don't care where you went all day in class, they know going to Miss B room, pull my pants up. Like, don't even try me with that. I do not want to see your drawers. Pull them up. They know, especially the boys. So they don't disrespect me. They pull them up. I think this is the jacket he was talking about. See, the varsity jacket. Now this is a collection you're looking at here. These are actually what they're going to be selling. They look so good. Let me know. I don't care. I think they look so good. All of them. I think this looks so good. Now I like colors. So I think I would add a pizzazz of color to this. I would get maybe like an orange or a yellow up in this bad boy. Because I like colors. That's just me, myself. But I mean, just this whole old world look is just so classic. I like it. I mean, I really do. Let's see. Pip Rounding says, Mrs. B Finesse, it's like the people who wear every piece of jewelry they own at the same time and then wonder why they get robbed. Listen. Or Pure Pondering, they go on social media showing every room in their house and showing all the jewelry and expensive things that they have, and they wonder why people come stick them up. It's like, listen, your house is your sanctuary. Why are you walking around showing everybody every room in your house? I still don't understand that concept. Like, I can understand you having a platform, social media, whatever. Stay your tail right in front of the camera then. Why are you going around, walking around your whole house showing everybody everything, and you think people aren't plotting on you? And to me, this is common sense, but I don't know. Like I told you guys, I am stepping into this social media thing now, so I see things so clearly compared to a lot of you probably don't see it, because you've been in social media for so long. But yeah, I don't understand that at all. Let's see. Vaughn says, I'm just thinking from an old man traditional standpoint. I don't think that's old man, Vaughn, because I'm half your age, and I feel like I like this. And I know it's not something that everybody would and could wear, but I think if the majority of people and a sliding scale kind of came back to this would be something that could help the trajectory, because I think a lot of this is this whole concept of us accepting how people dress, us accepting the things that we know are wrong, us accepting these ideas of, okay, we'll let that slide. And now we've slid into this whole concept where it is normal to be half naked. You look crazy if you have on clothes. It is normal to be out here cussing people out, calling them out their name, calling them names that they were not given by their parents, you know, and that's a normal thing. You look crazy being classy and not going out starting arguments and arguing with people and having these feuds and stuff. You look crazy because you're doing the right thing. Like I said, it is what it is. Let's see. Vaughn says this phone. Yeah, I know. Like I said, this technology, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We are gonna have these ups and downs. I just keep smiling to get through it, like I said. Because like I said, I love this conversation that we're having. Lucchese says, Vaughn, it's time indeed to get back to traditional fashion style, but then again, I'm coming from an old woman traditional stand. But see, that's the thing. Like, I don't think that's old woman or old man at all, to be honest, guys. I really believe we're so far gone from what reality is as far as our continents, as far as our value in class, the legacy we're trying to leave. I think we're so far gone from it that it's jaded, and it needs to be more of these conversations, and it needs to be more of us speaking to our family, our friends, our kids. If we're abuelos or abuelas, if you're tias or tios, uncles and aunts, grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers and fathers, like we need to just keep having these conversations, because I'm telling you, kids listen. And you know why I know this is true? Because I've worked with kids over 10 years and young adults, teenagers, and they listen to me. I'm not their blood parent, but they look at the principles and morals and values that I stand on, and they trust it because they trust me. So as long as you're getting a rapport and a connection with them, they'll listen to you. Don't ever think they're not listening. Do not ever think they're not listening. They are listening to you. I'm telling you, just keep saying it and keep showing love to them as you're saying it. Don't give it to them with anger and fury, because all they're going to do is they're going to rebel. I'm going to tell you that they're going to rebel. Let's see. Vaughn says, what happened to grooming classes? They used to have them for the gentlemen as well as for the ladies. It taught them how to have etiquette. I know they do this a lot in other countries, Vaughn. I was just watching a special on this lady in Asia. She teaches how to Asian women how, like, etiquette on how did they word it? Just having conversations, especially in America, and how, like, Americans do things and stuff. And they do that, but a lot of people don't want to invest in it. Pure Pondering said, I grew up in the mid 60s to the mid 80s, but my grandparents were old school. Gentility. My pawpaw was a deacon at the old one-room church with the outback, with the house in the back. Yeah, that is the story of many. Many people know that, you know, that same ideal that you said, Pure Pondering, is many people's story. So we definitely can relate. But yeah, guys, let me get back to the op-ed, what he was saying, and we'll finish this on off. So once again, guys, he was basically saying, one thing he was saying that, you know, he was kind of warring with was he wish I could say I expected when I first saw this collection that be excited, but he wasn't, and he kind of says why. He was, the first thing he was hoping is not exploiting and being appropriative. He says also he thought about other companies that could have made a lot of money off of this. Why didn't, you know, Spelman think of them? And obviously I probably can tell you, number one, the bigger money opportunity with a bigger brand and that brand name, because Polo is known everywhere, especially at universities, for that Ivy League dress and wear, right? He also was saying the ideal of the benefit of the school. He's hoping the school is getting money. He also says, I mean, that the essence and aesthetics of that campaign is beautiful. And he says he already knows, no matter what he's saying about how he feels, he said he's going to buy that varsity jacket. He doesn't care how much it costs. He says, I don't care how much it is, it's getting purchased, right? He says, speaking of me, he says, I'm curious where this stuff ends up. He says, oh, that's a good question. It's going to be in Macy's with the rest of the Polo stuff, or just in a Polo store. So the accessibility to this stuff, said it was limited though. It says, will it be mass produced? Will I have to worry about getting this immediately? He says Morehouse and Spelman aren't exactly the most popular HBCUs, and they're not. There's way bigger HBCUs. So he's wondering about the exclusivity of this. All right, will people be on this reselling it on like eBay or something because the exclusiveness of being able to get this product? He says, let's talk about other HBCUs right quick. Hateration and holleration are always at the dancery. And this is what I was saying before. Maybe other HBCUs will be agitated because Ralph Lauren didn't pick them, because there is a good amount of them, but he only chose those two. And then if you go to another college, you can't walk around with another college's emblem, even if the clothes are fire and nice. Like, who's going to do that, right? And so he says, I'm sure HBCUs are already annoyed that the same school always gets the donations. And despite the fact that there are many, many other outlets where you can get Alabama State, Elizabeth City State, and Cop and Gear, there's always this conversation about equality and donations and notice for all HBCUs. And I think that's kind of going back to what Adrian was saying. They do need the donations, and they do. They really do need donations. He says, I'm glad this was done with Polo since, well, we already rock the hell out of Polo. And he's basically talking about Black people. So he says he's glad that it's Polo. He says, I'd hate to be conflicted more than I am because the campaign was done by a name brand label I didn't care for. So you already know Polo was smart with this. They already know, just like Lucas was saying earlier too, Latinos, Blacks and whites, everybody wears Polo. So this is a good look, right? He says, I do have one question for Polo and Mr. Jeter. Why come with Morehouse 1867 sweater that really kind of looks like a Howard sweater? So he's basically saying some of the dynamics of these clothing are what some other people wear already. And then he says, I really do think the clothing and presentation are great here. And despite my misgivings about it, he says, I'm glad that the Black people are behind every aspect of this. I don't think the nagging feeling of exploitation and sneezing out the little guys will ever go away. And maybe that's just business, he says. But I hope folks are likely to support Black businesses as they are Polo, right? So that was kind of the other side of that. Let's see what you guys say. Vaughn says, I think the vintage look is always in order. I love to see when the young people reach back and embrace the concept. Yeah, I mean, it was just classic, and it wasn't overdone, and it wasn't too much. That's why I like it. It's not too much. Lucas says, so this company now has access to all the historical information and will be profiting for many years. Will the HBCUs get royalties? That's what I'm saying, Lucas. Those type of questions is what bothers me, because many times you get so excited, especially when you're underprivileged demographic, to be seen and get pushed to the front. Do you have your orders in line? Do you have everything lined up so you can profit just as well? So we're hoping that they do, right? We're hoping that they do. We're hoping that it can bring maybe more traffic into this college too. We're hoping that the whole aspect of legacy makes a difference, and that people will just learn more about the legacy of these historically Black colleges. I think that is the biggest thing. Learning about historically Black colleges, why they were there, what they're about, and moving forward, hopefully they don't come to a point where they are closing and are brought down because of a lot of the situations with greed and things going on in these colleges is rampant. It's horrible, right? So with that being said, guys, once again, the topic we're talking about was, does legacy matter? How deep does legacy go? Wow, the poll has changed a lot, guys. It says, do you care if someone profits off the legacy? At the beginning of the stream, we had almost 60-70% of you said yes. By the end of this stream, it looks like 50% say yes. I got 25% to say no, and another quarter of you guys, 25%, says does not matter if doesn't matter as long as I'm making money. So we got all kind of dynamics. We got all kind of ideals as far as this legacy, how it matters, and how you attribute your legacy to the equation of wealth and money, right? Oh my goodness, guys, my nose is itching. I don't know if it's something that is making my nose itch, but my nose is itching. So you see me scratching my nose, just block it out. My nose is itching. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Something's about to make me sneeze. I did not click in broadcast. What is StreamYard doing, guys? StreamYard just pushed the click. I mean, in broadcast just popped up. I'm nowhere even near that. I don't even know what it's doing. StreamYard, you getting on my nerves. OG Patrice says everybody benefits off the backs of us except us. Many times. And so that's why I'm wondering, like, if legacy really does matter, how far will you go as far as to profiteer off your legacy? Will it be something that you will keep and grow because you're keeping it and storing it and putting value to it? Or will it be something that you profit off of? It's a good question to have introspectively and outwardly, like we're having. But bring this back to your family, guys, as far as this mindful mindset. What is the legacy of your family, and how far will you go, and what will you do to keep the legacy strong is really the concept that I'm trying to bring here as far as this conversation. It's really the ideal to the call of action in this conversation, right? How far will you go to keep your legacy strong, and what will you keep it something that can transfer to generations, right? Because legacy is important. And when do we need to stand up and say, like, enough is enough on certain things, right? As far as even profiting off of your legacy, is it something where as long as it's wealth and it's generational, you don't mind, or does it matter if you make a quick buck, right? Good questions. So once again, this is the POLO Ralph Lauren brand collaboration with Morehouse and Spelman College. They are historically Black colleges, and we were having that conversation about what legacy means to you. Is it important? And once again, this is a conversation you guys need to have with your family and loved ones about this. This be Finesse. Once again, excellent topic and content. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you. Make sure, guys, if you appreciated the content after the stream is done, please go comment. If you have not commented this week, go back to 3 to 5 videos and put up comments. Say what you thought, what you learned, what you felt was beneficial in the streams that we've had past. And also, guys, make sure you're sharing this. Remember, we are not a family within ourselves. We are not a clan within ourselves to stay just our size and just keep the information here and keep it harbored to ourselves. We want to spread this, and we want these conversations to transcend and go out in the community and in society. So make it a point to share it on your socials. I know all you guys have social medias. So if it's edifying to you, share it with somebody, a family, friend, coworker, somebody, and let them judge if it's edifying to them so they can come back and learn too. And we can keep this going and going and going, guys. Allergies are high. Yeah, something's going on, OG, which is weird because, like, oh, it's itching, and I'm trying not to touch it. Vaughn says, please be advised, Mrs. B. Finesse may have to sneeze. I haven't, though, and that's the word. You guys know that feeling where you got the tickle and you think you're going to sneeze, but it doesn't happen, and that's what I keep doing. That's why I keep closing the screen, because I feel like I'm going to sneeze, but it's just like a tickle, and it goes away. So you see the true Miss B. Finesse, no hiding, no pulling up a screen for it. It is what it is. We're human. So with that being said, guys, I hope this edifies you. I hope, this made you think about legacy, how legacy matters, aspects of legacy, mindful mindset, finesse mindset. Look, Casey, stop laughing at me. I'm about to, but once again, guys, I'm hoping, like I said, oh my goodness, I'm hoping that you guys have a great day today, that you share this content, that you help somebody, bless somebody, that you encourage somebody. Once again, we're the Finesse family here. We're faithfully innovating, inspiring, being naturally effective, seeking success every day. And we work off of the mindful mindset, which we are aware and cognizant of others and their feelings too. And we're mindful of them as we make decisions moving forward in life, guys. So once again, guys, have a great day. Be blessed. Encourage somebody. Encourage yourself. And remember, seek success every day. Adios, au revoir. Have a great day. See you guys.